I'm going to record this meeting so that we can send it out to anybody else who might want to watch. It will not take very long. It's 7:02, and I'm going to call the meeting to order. And since it's being recorded, we don't need to worry about taking minutes. Can everybody see the screen that has the agenda on it?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
No, but I've got it here.
You have it in front of you. That'll be fine. We're going to go through the agenda as it's presented. There's a couple of minor changes on it that we'll know when we get to them that we'll need to make some decisions about. I expect this meeting to take about 25, 30 minutes, no more. We need to take one vote, and we have a quorum. And then if anybody has questions, just pipe in. I don't have the camera on everybody, so you'll have to kind of speak up if you have a question or want to say something. First of all, pastors or whoever is representing your congregations, we need you to send us a complete email list of your congregations so that we can start disseminating information directly to our congregations. And we'll send you ours as well, so it'll be a mutuality. Send those to Nancy Trimble, who is our secretary, so that when information has to go out on behalf of LSIM, she won't have to send it through a second or third party. If you have any objections to that or there's a problem with that, just let me know. But if you don't, please tend to that, or have your secretaries at your churches tend to that, please. We have a couple of reports we've already received in a previous email, the minutes from the July meeting. I've got them down here, and if we need to review them, we can, or you want to take a few seconds to look at them. I think they're pretty straightforward. And the financial report, what you're looking at right here on the screen, is our opening balance, which would have been from the last meeting in July, and the expenses that were made in our closing balance. Now, we have a $1,000 grant that's included in that from the ELCA, which you're going to be expending tonight at the request of Linda. And that's going to be one of our item of businesses we have to just vote on pro forma. So that balance is going to drop down to about $3,000. We have some requests in for some grant money, but that's not going to be a significant amount. So we're probably going to we will have to at our next meeting start thinking about ways in which we can enhance that bottom line, or plan to do less and pay for things differently. Right now, that $98 expense is a monthly cost for this go-to-meeting. But we did look into some free options, and we're going to continue to do that. We may drop that expense off. Are there any questions about finances or about the minutes from the previous meeting in July? Are there any corrections that needed to be made?
Move to second, both.
Thank you. They've both been seconded.
I second it.
Okay.
I second it.
Thank you. Any questions or comments, changes, amendments, etc.? All righty, then I'll just take a vote for both reports. Yeah, both reports, please. All those in favor of receiving the reports as presented, say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Now, Linda is here. She has presented a voucher. It's not a problem, but it does require by our Constitution board approval. You see the request is the reimbursement from the LSIM Domestic Labor Grant. Those costs are listed there for February, May, and June of this year. The total is $1,000, which is the total of the grant. That's for this year. So the money came from the ELCA for this purpose, and it has to be spent, but our board has to approve the expenditure. If you have any questions about these, Linda's online, so this would be the time to ask her. It comes as a request through the regular channels. It doesn't require a motion or a second. It's on the floor for discussion. So anybody have any questions of Linda?
No, except for good job.
Yeah.
Right. Good job.
Great. Alrighty, then I will.
We are now recognized as one of the top 3 community gardens in Clark County.
Wow, that's great.
And the other 2 are both over 10 years old.
Wow. Now, I haven't talked with Julie, and I meant to. Maybe Robin has an answer. It's just my fault. I've just been busy. It's neglected it to see where this is at, or if she's heard anything back from the article that she wrote. Robin, do you know anything about that?
He was still waiting on information from someone. I'm not sure who.
Okay. Well, I'll check with her and see what she needs so we can get that expedited. But she has done the interviewing and taken pictures, and I know that she's in the process of preparing that article for the Lutheran magazine. Well, they call it Living Lutheran magazine. So, okay. So I need a vote on this proposal for request for reimbursement for $1,000. All those in favor say aye.
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 Thank you. Opposed, same sign. All right, Linda, I will have Deb cut you a check.
Thank you.
Remind again that Judy, we're kind of awaiting to transfer that money out. So if you would let us know where and when and how to do that, we'll write you a check for the balance. Okay?
Okay, I'll send Deb the information.
Great. All righty. We have had I've had conversations with Marks about staffing issues. I think tomorrow night you're meeting with the bishop's assistant. Is that correct, Deb?
Wednesday night.
Wednesday night. Okay. So we'll stand ready until you guys decide what you're going to do. I think that Nancy is on hook to assist you on the 1st of October. And I talked with the bishop this afternoon, and she has permission to do communion if that's what you want. So you just communicate to her how you want that to handle, and she'll take care of it from there. Okay?
You mean Nancy? Get a hold of Nancy.
Yes, you can.
Hi, Nancy. Is she there?
I don't think she is, but
Tonight? Okay.
her email is included in your report there for point 2, so you can
Okay.
directly.
Yes, I will get a hold of her.
Yeah. All of the congregations are in process for evangelism. First session with Arise in Christ, with St. Mark's, excuse me, and the second session is scheduled for the 1st of October in the afternoon. So, and that will conclude the 3 outer churches, and then my congregation will come on board sometime in the spring, probably, when we get our organization reorganized. Congregations, the Luther movie, October the 26th. That's the first big thing coming up. I know that Peter called me today. He's out of town right now. I was hoping that he would come in, be able to call in, but he didn't know if he'd have range. As you all know, it was shown on PBS here about 2 weeks ago. That sort of undercuts. I mean, leave it to the Lutherans to undercut their own efforts. That's kind of typical. We need 67 more reservations to secure that, and we have about 31 days to do that. I will send out notifications reminding people every Monday, starting this coming Monday for the 3 weeks, encouraging them to sign up and get these tickets online. The one thing that was not clear, but the theater is allowing us time to have conversation, ask questions, and discussion after the movie. We don't have to just clear out when the screening is over. So if anybody asks if that's what's going to happen, the answer is yes. And the pastors will kind of sit down and brainstorm about how we're going to handle that. But that will be part of the structure. If it does not happen, if we don't get the requisite 67, my recommendation is that we just reschedule it for our earliest convenience and show it at one of the sites or even at all of the sites. Hold on a second. Did I just drop out? I did. Damn it.
Just think he's.
I just dropped out. Yeah, I'm sorry. I just dropped out. I'm back again. To show this movie at all the sites, we have available to get electronic access to it. So I'm just asking everybody to please push this, if you can, at your congregations, and encourage people to sign up online. And if there's a reason why they can't or don't want to do it online, I would say contact Pastor Steve or Pastor Peter or myself, and we'll do it for them. You know, we can make those reservations for them. To do that by telephone. So just do whatever you have to do to encourage that. Any questions about that?
Well, having watched it this afternoon, it's awesome. See it.
Good. That's what I mean.
Good.
Yeah. Well, yeah. As they leave it to the Lutherans to undercut their own marketing. That's typical. That's right. Yeah.
I didn't say I wasn't going. I said see it.
Understood. Okay. All right, now the two items that are coming up, we need to just talk about for a few seconds, and then if you have questions about it. The first one is the change of venue. I want to note that the change of venue for both of these. Now, we talked about this briefly at our July meeting, but I want to reinforce it. November the 12th, which is the fall concert, will be at our church, 3 o'clock. We'll have refreshments. In case there's any question about what that means, we would encourage every congregation to provide some kind of a musical event. I mean, if they can bring a bell choir or a trio, that's fine. That needs to be coordinated through Robin quickly. It cannot be done a week in advance. So if you have a group that wants to that represents your congregation, we'll accommodate them. Let this be an LSIM event. Also, we're not expecting people to learn these pieces on site, take all your choir time learning, but we will probably set up, and I'll let Robin address this, at least one and maybe two rehearsals in advance of that day, and people can come up and join us and learn as a part. There'll be lots of support. That's what we've done in the past. So we're hoping that we'll have people from each of the congregations who will want to sing in the masked choir. They don't have to sing for every piece, but we need to know where they're going to be and how many there are. Robin, you want to add anything to that?
I can barely make out anything you're saying, but I'm thinking we're talking about the concert on November the 12th. I spoke with Marianne Blazer this afternoon. Hello?
Good.
Yes, we're here.
Yes.
Okay.
This is Debbie. Yeah. I was just going to mention calling her, so thank you for doing that.
Yeah, we talked this afternoon for a little bit. We are planning to have a rehearsal on Sunday, November 5th. That would be the Sunday before the concert. Probably from like 6 to 8 p.m. or something like that. I'm going to scan all of the music and email it out to the different churches. So the music really, it sounds difficult if you listen to the recording, but when you're practicing it, it really isn't that complicated. I really don't think anybody's going to have a hard time with it. A couple of the songs only have maybe 8 measures of, a choral introduction, and then the thing. It's really not that hard. So any of the churches that want to participate in the masked pieces, that's fine. If they want to do something by themselves, that's okay too. We're just going to need to know here pretty soon.
Right. You did fine. You just repeated what I said, so thanks. That's good. All righty.
Okay.
Good. No, that's good. I mean, we're on the same page, and that's unusual for you. At least for me it is. So that's good. Anybody have any questions of Robin while she's on the phone? Now, in order to do this, we wanted to include St. Mark's, and so we swapped dates with them, and they're going to be hosting the Celtic service on the March the 18th. That is a joint service between the Roman Catholics and the Lutherans. The one thing that was raised this afternoon, and I'm glad it was raised, is that we'll have to be attentive to the parking situation. If we're even partially successful and get the usual, 85 to 115 from our congregations for that event, I think you can expect 50 to 60 of the Catholics to also show up for that, especially if their priest encourages it. And that could make for a full house. It's a lovely problem to have, but they won't be aware of the parking situation. So, Deb, I think that we'll need to kind of talk that through before we get to March. We're hoping that you'll also provide some refreshments, cookies, punch, whatever, as hosts of that event. We do not expect to have a meal. That's not on the cards unless you really want to do that. I would say, if you decide you want to do that, we'll talk about it. But if you could just do something along the lines of, punch, cookies, trays, whatever, like what you've done in the past, that would be helpful.
Right. Yes.
Okay. So that will be at 3 o'clock.
Now, as far as far as the parking goes, I can double check that we have the arrangement with Birchham's across the street that unless there's a funeral that Sunday, people can park over there too. Right. And that will probably So I'll just need to double check that.
Okay. And I think what we want to do, Deb, is to kind of get that message out to the Lutherans to make that parking available and then let the Catholics use the lot. Catholics and folks who are like handicapable, that kind of stuff, to use the lot by the church, that we're accommodating the people that need to be close by. Where there's plenty of parking within a very short distance, unless it's a terribly snowy or terrible day, in which case probably.
Well, and if we encourage carpooling.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll talk more about that, but that's just issues I want to kind of keep in mind, okay? Alrighty.
Okay.
Almost done. Hang with me. At the bottom of this screen there, we have dates for upcoming meetings, and I had to make one change. Because we met so late in September, this go-to-meeting, we're not going to need, nor do I want to do an October meeting. So I'm suggesting, that's not right. It should be 6 or 20, not. Just, Deb, I need you to check to see if we can tonight have to get these dates nailed down so we can advertise them out. We're talking about board meetings, face-to-face. We usually have one at each.
Right.
So the 6th or the 20th at St. Mark's. Those are Monday nights.
Now, what you're talking November?
In November, correct.
November 6th or 20th?
Oh, November the 20th, yeah.
Okay.
Adding that.
I'll be gone the 20th.
Okay, Judy's gone the 20th.
Craig, Robin, and I won't be able to do that either. That's Katie's surgery day.
Ah, the 20th, okay. Deb, how's the 6th look?
Can I look at that while
Absolutely.
I'm on with my phone? I don't know.
Okay. Absolutely.
I'm afraid to look at it since I'm on the
I
phone.
Okay.
So I don't know why it wouldn't be.
Would you, as soon as you know that date is okay, would you confirm that and send an email out so we can get it all in our calendars? But let's pencil in the 6th at St. Mark's.
Yeah.
That isn't going to work. We'll figure out a backup date. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, like I said, Monday night's usually nothing happening, so that should be fine, except for AA, but you know that.
It'll
So.
be in a different part of the building, right? Now, at Good Shepherd,
Yes.
we're looking at January the 15th or the 29th.
I'll be gone in January.
You'll be gone for the whole month?
Yes.
Okay. Then I guess it doesn't matter which.
Well, I will be here the 8th.
Yeah,
I will be here the 8th.
Yeah, no, that won't work. Yeah, we got other things going on. Yeah, I'll be gone for the 8th. The 15th is the earliest I can do anything in January. I can go the 21st or the 22nd or the 29th in January. So, Steve, is there any of is either one of those dates better than another?
I'm thinking at this point in time, I'm thinking about the 22nd.
Okay, the 22nd.
Probably West Milton or the Milton Union Council of Churches on the 22nd, 29th. And I'm not really sure which day it is. I'm thinking it would be the 22nd. Yeah.
22nd. Okay.
I might have to say, ooh, I messed that up.
Let's pencil that one in then, and would you please confirm that as soon as possible? All right. Arise in Christ.
I will try to do that tomorrow.
That'll be great. Arise in Christ, the 16th or the 30th
Yes.
of April. Linda, do you have any?
16th,
I'm sorry. 16th.
tax day.
Tax day.
Tax day.
All righty. Okay, these are penciled in then. These 3 dates: November the 6th at St. Mark's, January the 22nd at Good Shepherd, April the 16th at Abiding Christ. We will schedule a go-to-meeting at some point in February like this one, which will primarily be to do a touch base prior to the March worship event so that we're all on board what needs to be done. So I'll figure that out when we get closer. And then the July retreat, that'll be the topic of one of our topics in April. We'll set that up. It'll be our turn to host that. Okay, and then if we need any other meetings, we can either schedule them face-to-face or schedule go-to-meetings throughout the year. Okay, anybody have any input, questions, comments, etc.?
Greg, I have a question.
Here, go ahead.
Robin and I obviously weren't around in July, so don't know if you already discussed this, but is the plan to continue doing these meetings at 7 p.m.?
No, we can. We're flexible on the time. Yeah.
Okay, it's not a bad thing. I was just wondering.
Yeah.
Are we going to set a time later or?
Well, I think 6:30 or 7. We had them earlier once before, Steve, for folks to come directly from work, so they wouldn't have a long gap in between.
Right.
It won't be later than 7. I think it depends on where it's set up and what the schedules are like. But let's say 6:30 or 7. Is there a preference out there, folks, between one or the other?
No.
Trying to get
Doesn't matter to me.
Drive if they have to go a distance. That's the whole thing, depends on where it's at. Go ahead.
I was just saying that Rob and I are okay with either time.
Okay, we'll confirm that. Yeah, if you have any input, just let me know. But let's say 7 o'clock for now. We'll try and keep these meetings to an hour. There may be in the future that we'll have to go longer, but right now I think we're in an hour time frame. Okay. All righty. Anything else? Okay, this meeting has been recorded. I'm going to save it up as a YouTube. I will send it to you as a YouTube link when it gets done, and you can review it if you have any questions. All right. Any other business we need?
Thank you.
All righty. Thanks, folks. I really appreciate your time tonight. Great. Okay.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Good night.
Good night.
Oh, here's Peter. Better late
Thanks,
than never.
Peter. We're done now, Peter. But Peter can hang on the line. I'll talk to him offline in a second.
Okay, good night.
Bye.
Bye. Steve, hang on the line just a second. Steve Glatley. I'm sorry, not Steve.
Oh.
That's right. All right. Sue, hang on the line just a second.
Okay, Roger that.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
I'm checking November 6th since I just found out I can do that, and it looks
great.
fine.
Oh, great. Thanks. I'll get that. Well, it's being recorded, so I'll make sure they do that.
Okay.
6th November's on. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Deb.
Bye.
Hi, Peter. Can you hear me? Are you there, Peter?
I'm fighting for a connection here. I'm in a real bad spot.
All right, just hang on. We're only going to be about 2 minutes, so if you can just hang in there a second.
Talk to me.
All righty. Are we all going to be here tomorrow? Maybe that's the easiest question to ask. Steve, are you planning to be here tomorrow?
Yes.
And Peter, are you planning to be here in the morning?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, let's just talk face to face then. We'll spend a little time and review the stuff that we have to do.
Yes.
All right, rather than do this electronic crap. All right?
Okay.
All righty, thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate
Tomorrow.
it. Yes, and Peter, I recorded the meeting. I'll send you a link. Okay?
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See you, Sue.
Bye.
Hey, Sue, how's your finger today?
Well, I saw the surgeon, and the wound, they said, looks good.
Yeah.
He is sending me to the infectious disease doctor,
Yeah.
who, unfortunately, I don't see until October, of course.
Of course.
No, I mean, I think, naturally. But it's an improvement in that I now have a splint back on it that covers the wound, so it's much easier to do anything, So that's good.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I felt a little better today than I did over the weekend. I just still,